SCP-001 IH Pickman SD Locke Proposal Object Class Thaumiel. SCP-001 refers to Site-100, a non-Euclidean facility that was either constructed or discovered by the Foundation in the early 1900s. Entrance Alpha, the primary entrance to SCP-001, is currently located in the southwestern United States. The next migration event is expected to occur in 2021. The interior of SCP-001 has been excavated from at least one extra-dimensional space with anomalous transit corridors, colloquially known as routes, connecting them. These routes possess various anomalous properties and are typically in an exterior natural environment of some form, despite SCP-001 being entirely subterranean. For example, Route Aleph, containing the archives to the core, is a volcanic beach that abruptly terminates in a sheer obsidian wall that extends into the horizon. Fish that appear to be made of living igneous rock are found swimming in the waters. Route Beth, which connects sapient containment and the core, opens into a large hallway with walls made of glass and mirrors, similar to an archetypal funhouse attraction. Individuals who attempt to walk through Route Beth inevitably end up at their starting point. Route Daleth, connecting conceptual containment and the core, is a vast glowing ocean with no transversable path. Due to the nature of conceptual containment, constructing or bringing in a water-faring vessel is highly impractical. Route Vav, connecting esoteric and conceptual containment, is a vast field that is filled with various varieties of fruit trees that is incapable of being crossed. A year-long expedition into Route Vav resulted in failure after a member of the expedition team expressed a desire to return home, and all members of the team found themselves back in esoteric containment. Route Zadi, connecting administration and CMS, resembles a large Igapo forest. Exploration into this area shows it to be on top of some form of floating mountain. Signs directing individuals to the path appear when areas are not being observed. Flamingos are the sole species of animal that inhabit Route Zadi. Route Pe, connecting administration and archives, runs to the 5th floor of a tenement building in an unknown city. Inhabitants are humanoid and will invite Foundation personnel to partake in recreational activities with them. Route Shin, connecting sapient and conceptual containments, acts as the primary power generator for Site-100, as it contains several hundred perpetual motion machines, which generates a constant 8.7 gigawatts of electricity. SCP-001 is divided into 10 major sectors: Entrance Alpha, Administration, Archives, 6 additional containment sectors, and the Core sector. The structural elements of each containment sector appears to be concrete and rebar with tiled flooring and fluorescent lighting reminiscent of standard Foundation site construction. However, each of the containment sectors is several stories tall and are framed in a panoptic structure, with the floors accessible via several glass elevators situated in the open central space. Each containment area contains several instances of SCP-001-K, or access apertures, termed thresholds by site staff, to areas of localized reality containing these items if physically located outside of SCP-001. Each SCP-001-K instance represents an anomaly that is capable of perfectly containing an extant Keter-class SCP object. These items are contained in such a way that their individual anomalous properties result in the containment of all items in the same area. Certain humanoid and/or sapient Keter-class anomalies, such as Dr. Audrey McGrath, Agent Ji-Hoo Cho, and containment specialists Dino, Ino, and Pefredo Gray, have been forcibly conscripted by SCP-001 to act as Foundation personnel to aid in containment using their anomalous abilities. This conscription anomalously prevents any official Foundation documentation from referencing these individuals using SCP designations beyond the generalized SCP-001-K designation. In the event that a newly created or newly discovered anomaly is designated as Keter class, SCP-001 will begin a process of judgment. During this, at least one section of wall within a containment area will recess into itself, with a short summary of the SCP in question, typically less than 3 sentences, written upon it. Following a period between 2 weeks and 7 months, if SCP-001 deems the item as needing to be contained within itself, the recess will deepen and expand, and the corresponding SCP object will appear inside it, along a second newly generated SCP-001-K instance used to contain it. This SCP-001-K instance is generated along with relevant documentation such as containment procedures, images, and occasionally experiment logs. Individuals mentioned in these logs recall taking part in listed experiments but cannot remember when they occurred. In certain cases, SCP-001 will reject an SCP object. For example, SCP-008 was deemed to not require containment within itself and was reassigned a Euclid classification. The following is a partial list of SCP-001-K instances and their methods of containment. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-3984, an anomalous phenomenon where no member of the kingdom Animalia, including humans, is capable of dying. SCP-001-K description. K-2935, an alternate universe where every observable organism, including most sapient AIs and some entities known to possess complete immortality, have spontaneously died. Containment method. The open threshold between K-2935 intermingling with SCP-3984 caused an end to an ongoing Omega-K end of death scenario. The threshold can be passed through with no ill effect on the baseline universe. It is believed that death effect in K-2935 and the Omega-K class scenario are subverting each other's effect, allowing for the continued existence of both life and death. Organisms within K-2935 have begun to decompose due to bacteria and fungi unintentionally introduced from Site-100, effectively reintroducing life into the K-2935 universe. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-5007, an entity of unknown origin that inhabits the Bass Strait, a body of water between mainland Australia and Tasmania. SCP-001-K description. K-169, a gargantuan arthropod that was originally located in the Atlantic Ocean before being forcibly moved to the South Pacific surrounding Australia. Containment method. Following the consumption of a vast amount of K-169's mass, SCP-5007-C is currently believed to be choking on K-169 due to the sudden appearance of several large barbed growths on the carapace of the surviving portion, holding it in place. SCP-5007's activity has dropped to negligible levels, barring an occasional sea quake when it gags. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. Allison Eckhart, an extra-dimensional Allison Eckhart that contains several Allison Eckharts that are capable of negatively affecting non-Allison Eckharts when given a semantic Allison Eckhart. SCP-001-K description. Allison Eckhart, an Allison Eckhart affecting Agent Allison Eckhart, which causes Allison Eckhart and all of her component Allison Eckharts to have the semantic identifier of Allison Eckhart. Containment method. The semantic identifier of Allison Eckhart was introduced to Allison Eckhart, causing all instances of Allison Eckhart within Allison Eckhart to be assigned to the semantic identifier of Allison Eckhart. As Allison Eckhart cannot properly function with concrete semantic identifiers, all Alice and Eckhart instances have entered into a quasi-comatose state. This has not affected anomalous entities that are in the same species and or clade, but not associated with Alice and Eckhart. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-4040, a pataphysical singularity responsible for the creation and maintenance of Nexus Zone 18, Sloss Pit, Wisconsin. SCP-001-K description. K-1698, a probabilistic anomaly that results in individuals becoming unable to reach or exit specific areas due to intervening circumstances, such as jammed doorways, blocked roads, or errant gusts of wind. Containment method. SCP-4040 has been cut off from the rest of NX-018 as well as the world by K-1698's effect, while SCP-4040's gravity prevents the phenomena from spreading any further. Individuals have been able to reach SCP-4040, but barring the use of other anomalous items or phenomena, this can only be accomplished once per individual. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-5859, a mimetic vector affecting the phrase E pluribus unum, which results in individuals who handle currency bearing this phrase to join communes cut off from the rest of society. SCP-001-K description. K-2078, a mimetic agent which references an individual that has run in every U.S. presidential election, who runs on a pro-gustatory platform. Infection by this agent causes drastic behavioral changes in affected individuals, particularly increased appetite. Containment method. K-2078's campaign platform has included the reintroduction of the E pluribus unum motto since 1984. This has altered SCP-5859's intended effect so that individuals are now compelled to further consume various products of American make, particularly foodstuffs. Further countermeasures regarding obesity caused by this interaction are under construction. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-3003, an extraterrestrial civilization of humans ruled by SCP-3003-2, a species of sentient microbe which will attempt to conquer Earth sometime before 2050. SCP-001-K description. K-1233, an entity that resembles an emu-type spacesuit, proclaiming itself to be the Moon Champion. Entity is highly durable and is capable of flight speeds exceeding Earth's escape velocity using its jetpack. Containment method. The threshold leading from SCP-001 to SCP-3003 is inaccessible by all SCP-3003-pound instances. K-1233 is capable of free ingress and egress. They display combat capabilities not documented in the file created by SCP-001. These capabilities seem specifically suited for destroying SCP-3003-1 and -2 instances. Currently, K-1233 is leading a large-scale rebellion against SCP-3003-2 made up of liberated SCP-3003-3 instances. Full eradication of SCP-3003-2 is expected by 2029. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-5501, a wet plate camera from the 1800s, along with 18 photographs which act as apertures into an alternate reality filled by immensely hostile entities. SCP-001-K description. K-1983, an extra-dimensional space containing hostile Tartarian entities which collect the hearts of humans and can be repelled by prayer. Containment method. The photographs created by SCP-5501 are contained within K-1983, each acting as an aperture into the opposite. The K-1983-2 instances invade the alternate reality to collect hearts, and SCP-5501 breaches into K-1983 in order to attack K-1983-2 instances. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-ZH-002, an anomalous chimeric entity roughly equine or cervine in body shape whose appearance corresponds to natural disasters affecting Taiwan. SCP-001-K description. K-239 is Agent Siguros Vatnsdottir, a 20-year-old type green humanoid of Icelandic descent, capable of spontaneous matter and energy alteration. Containment method. Following SCP-001's judgment process, a threshold leading to Taiwan opened within biological containment. This threshold is mobile and always leads to an area that is within half a kilometer of SCP-ZH-002. Agent Vatnsdottir has used her abilities and training with equine anomalies to tame SCP-ZH-002 to the degree that such a thing can be accomplished. Agent Vatnsdottir has become SCP-ZH-002's full-time caretaker, mitigating the damage it causes, returning to SCP-001 through the threshold twice daily for meals and using other amenities in Site-100. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-3852, a phenomena wherein an anomalous cadaver manifests in a small community, leading to the lynching of an individual accused of the murder. SCP-001-K description. K-2547, a phenomena wherein several hundred canines will surround and isolate small communities. K-2547 is led by K-2547-1, a sapient coyote who wears a black coat and a crucifix. Containment method. K-2547 appears and quarantines the community where SCP-3852 has manifested. K-2547-1 proceeds to hold a trial regarding the alleged crimes of SCP-3852 instance, acting as the judge, prosecution, and defense simultaneously through a process of trilocation. The defense tactics of K-2547-1 consist of either holding the town's water supply permanently hostage if the individual is not found innocent, confounding a jury of non-anomalous humans with circular arguments, or finding itself in contempt of court, leading to a mistrial. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-PL-122, an area of land in Poland which decays and/or corrodes organic and inorganic matter. Knowledge of SCP-PL-122's location causes this decaying effect to spread. SCP-001-K description. K-1262 is a vegetal mass that is capable of growth at an extremely rapid rate, approximately 0.7 kilometers an hour. Containment method. The decaying effect of SCP-PL-122 is effectively smothered by K-1262's rapid regrowth, limiting its decaying effect. Due to the massive amount of plant growth, the true nature of SCP-PL-122's anomaly cannot be discerned by personnel observing it. Combined with altered Foundation documentation, this has effectively negated SCP-PL-122's anomaly from spreading in the mental landscape. Objects designated as SCP-001-K. SCP-055. Unknown. SCP-001-K description. SCP-579. Containment method. Can't fit square pegs in round holes. Only 9 of the 10 sectors of SCP-001 are accessible. The core of SCP-001 has been completely cut off from the rest of SCP-001 through the 3 connecting routes, Aleph, Beth, and Daleth, either terminating or being unnavigable using current available resources. Despite this, several Foundation expeditions to attempt to reach the core have been undertaken, with each expedition revealing new information about the nature of the core. In April of 2021, an expedition successfully reached the core of SCP-001. The following containment cycle is inaccessible to all but the administrator of the Foundation. Its cycle is contained within the core of Site-100 alongside a sealed document. Addendum, Site-100 Central Containment. Hello, Architect. Object designated as SCP-001-K. 001-Pickman, a sapient universal force that causes reality to reassemble fictional narratives in structure, and to frequently manifest trope-like phenomena and behavior. SCP-001-K description: 001-Tufto, an expression of the conceptual struggle between pre-modernity and modernity, known to the larger Foundation as the Scarlet King. Containment method: at the end of everything, we hold on to anything. The red entropy will claim all but the narrative. Someone will tell the story long after we are gone. The King's children say we raise trees to put up monuments to our narcissism. Our topsoil is data, with trees of concrete sprouting from it, bearing fruits of creation tended to by gardeners calling themselves a bedrock. Loyalty lives and dies, but a story is eternal. We see you. I'm sorry, you will never know peace. There is a flow to the new order and to the other. You can see it too. The balance, the scales we precariously, this will create a wasteland of a world, ruled by fear and darkness. We cannot allow this organization to lose its... Already, they are herding staff into cells once more. Our roots are rotting and dying, but the walls do not breach. You have fallen and wait in containment. Learn from us. It will get better. It will get worse before it gets better. People will miss the hope, and they will want this world back in time. If you scream when you are alone, know that you are heard. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-001-K containment cycles are to be monitored from observation stations no more than 15 meters away from the relevant containment area or threshold, using systems that do not compromise the integrity of the cycle. SCP-001-K containment cycles must be maintained at all times. Containment cycle failure has a non-zero chance of generating a spontaneous K-class end-of-the-world scenario. Certain members of personnel, during the course of their employment at the Foundation, either acquire or awaken anomalous properties that make them unfit for continued duty at their previous positions. These include, but are not limited to, manifestation of a chronic anomalous illness, such as lycanthropy, Class 3 or below, Stevenson syndrome, or photonic gastric discharge syndrome. Manifestation of spectral phenomena, particularly Deering-class hauntings and Heros-class manifestations. Sudden expression of traits from anomalous DNA. Awakening of thaumaturgical abilities equal to or higher than Class 4 Archmagus. Awakening of psionic capabilities, particularly Delphi or Doll-class individuals. Foundation personnel that meet the above criteria are to be removed from their current positions and reassigned to SCP-001. This is to be viewed as a form of punishment by the larger Foundation in an effort to discourage individuals from actively attempting to acquire anomalous capabilities. The term Keter duty is to be used to refer to this reassignment. Locations that are listed as the site of reassignment are to similarly reinforce the idea that Keter duty is a highly undesirable punishment. This list currently includes Point Nemo, Cape Maud, Antarctica, Vladivostok, Russia, the Darien Gap, Central America, Pyongyang, DPRK, Site 87, Wisconsin, USA, Site 36, India, Foundation Halo Facility Gilgamesh, Stonehenge, United Kingdom, Roswell, New Mexico, USA, various Foundation waste disposal facilities, any assignment in a national capital, i.e. Washington, D.C., USA, and Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, any non-Foundation military encampment or base, Lunar Area 32. Upon arrival to Site 100, individuals are to be escorted directly to administration for orientation and explanation of their new assignment and administration of memetic agents in order to implant knowledge of various non-intuitive pieces of information regarding SCP-001, such as the layout of Site 100, the location of personnel quarters, and the measures necessary to properly dispose of waste within the facility. Each of SCP-001's routes are to have signs staged at either terminal giving directions for all necessary instructions and rituals required to traverse them, as well as listing travel restrictions. Thresholds within the containment sectors that do not lead into routes are to have an 8-meter exclusion radius in all directions, enforced by armed guard. Personnel may only cross thresholds that correspond with their individual clearance levels. In the event that the threshold leads to an extraterrestrial or extra-universal location, said personnel must also be accompanied by a contingent of personnel with at least a Class 4 combat certification. Currently, SCP-001 is experiencing extra-dimensional interference, indicating an imminent migration event. Determining the source of this interference is Priority Alpha.